get started here. PEB to SEBB special enrollment. We're not calling it open enrollment. We've been asked not to call it open enrollment because it's a little bit different. So what is this? If you've been reading my emails, this will be reviewed for you. If you haven't been reading my emails, I don't blame you. Some of them can go on for a little bit. But in 2019, the Washington State Legislature enacted ESHB 2140, which required that the health benefits of educational service district employees be governed by the School Employees Benefits Board beginning January 1st, 2024. That was part of the general move for school districts over to SEBB. ESDs were given a little bit of an extension on that since we're kind of a different beast. The PEB benefits that you are used to, and that's, if you're not aware, if you're new to all of this, PEB stands for Public Employees Benefit Board, School Employee Benefit Board. But that you are used to are going to be very similar. There's not a one-to-one exact comparison, but there is a comparison chart, which I have also sent out and will send out again if you need it. To make elections, rather than using paper forms with SEBB, you're going to be logging into the SEBB My Account website through the Secure Access account. It is highly recommended that you set up your SAW account, the Secure Access Washington account, ahead of time. It's not absolutely necessary. When you log into SEBB My Account the first time, it will prompt you for your SAW account, and then if you don't have one, it will help you set one up. But when you do that, it is recommended that you use your personal email address. The reason for that is if you change work to a different district, or if you leave for a reason and you need to continue your benefits, you will still have access to your account, and you won't have to contact the ESD to get the email account changed. Well, you can't really get the email account changed over at that point, but to get you access to your email temporarily. Again, this all is done through a self-enrollment, self-directed enrollment. So having the account set up is vital to ensuring that you have benefits. That's one of the main takeaways from this. So we're now going to watch a little video on how to set up your SEBB My Account. The video mentions the Department of Ecology very briefly. Ignore that. There's not one that Secure Access Washington has set up. It's more generic than that. So I did the best with what I had. So forgive me in that regard. Here we are. And give me a thumbs up if you can hear this.
Welcome, and thank you for partnering with Ecology to protect, preserve, and enhance Washington's environment for current and future generations. This tutorial will help guide you through the process of obtaining a Secure Access Washington account, known by the acronym SAW. The first thing you need to do is to go to Secure Access Washington. Notice the resources of information available to assist you. The first step in creating a new account is to select the Sign Up button that is located at the top of the screen. You will then be presented with a screen to set up an account. Go ahead and enter your information. Ensure you pay attention to the password requirements. It will be necessary and important for you to write down your username and password information for SAW and place in a secured location. It is highly recommended that you do not allow your computer to save your password for future use. Once you have completed the fields, you will then be prompted through a few tests in order to verify that you are not a robot. It may take several attempts for the verification process. Be patient. Once the system has verified you, a Submit button will appear. Go ahead and select. A pop-up indicating for you to check your email will appear. The activation link has been sent to your email. While you're waiting for your email, it may be a good time to identify that secure location for your SAW username and password. Once you've received the email, please proceed with activating your account. You will do this by selecting the link that is provided. If you're having any issues completing your registration, It will be important to contact the Secure Access Washington team by using the link provided in your email. Unfortunately, Ecology cannot assist you with this. Once you've selected the activation link in your email, you will immediately receive a pop-up indicating that your account has been activated. You can now select the Login button and continue. Retrieve your securely stored username and password and log in. If you receive the pop-up asking if you'd like to store your password for wa.gov, select Not for this site. This is an unsafe method and we recommend you do not agree. Congratulations, you've created your SAW account.
This weird new tool.
Okay, I know you all want to know about that weird new tool, but we're going to go ahead and skip that. You will access SEBB My Account directly through the SEBB My Account website, which will prompt you, as I said, to log into your SAW account. We're going to now kind of go over what that looks like. To log into your SEBB My Account, you're navigating to that website there, the myaccount.hca.wa.gov, and click on Log into SEBB My Account under the Employee Subscriber Login. Once you do, you're going to verify your some basic statistical information about yourself, which will already be imported from PEB. That's going to be your last name, your date of birth, and the last four of your social. You'll be prompted to select 3 security questions and answers. And after you've done this, you'll click Claim the account and go to the dashboard. I'm going to warn you, some of this information is mildly out of date because HCA has not updated their user manual since they switched over to SEBB My Account a few years ago, so 2019. So apologies, like I said, might be mildly out of date. There's going to be a review of account terms of use, which we all, of course, read thoroughly and then click Accept. And you're onto the dashboard. So the dashboard, pardon me, consists of several buttons: begin elections, manage dependents, profile, premium surcharge attestations. Sorry, I'll go back here. Coverage summary, special open enrollment, document upload, and supplemental coverage. I'm going to cover those just briefly. The primary one that you're going to be concerned with is begin your elections. This will help you make your elections in a step-by-step process. You probably will not have to do anything with managed dependents, even if you already have dependents, as your PEB dependents will be pulled over automatically. There's a little asterisk next to that statement that if you are new, we may need to get your dependents re-added, but just contact payroll and we can help you with that process. Profile is where you can review your personal details. I would recommend doing that just to make sure that all of your personal information is up to date and accurate. Premium surcharge attestations, you'll come to that during the election process, but it is also important to review that. You don't want to get a $25 tobacco surcharge if you don't smoke. Coverage summary, that's where you can review the elections that you're currently in. It's not going to apply too much in this case, but it will also show you what your future elections will be. Special open enrollment, again, not going to be too important this time around, but if you do have a life event, it will be important. If you do have something that would cause your insurance to change, such as birth of a child, adoption of a child, marriage, divorce, etc., let us know. We can help you with that process again. Document upload, if you do need to make a change to your dependents or there is other documentation that's requested by the HCA, this is where you'll go to do that. Supplemental coverage, again, this is going to be in the step-by-step process, but it's good to review it for your own knowledge. At this time, you cannot make too many changes with your supplemental coverage during the special open enrollment, special enrollment. And that is because of various issues with the third parties, but you can make a change to your LTD through here. You can make changes. I should clarify. You can make changes to your supplemental coverage, but it's going to be done primarily with paper forms, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. Hopefully, I don't meander too much. From the dashboard, clicking the Begin Elections button in the newly eligible notice section is, like I said, the easiest way. It gives you a step-by-step process, and you can see that there, where it goes through each of the steps that we just kind of outlined of adding dependents, submitting documents, making attestations, making plan elections, or waiving coverage for that matter, or choosing or waiving supplemental coverage. As I stated before, current dependents should pull over, if you don't see your current dependents and you need assistance, please let us know. We want to help you. If you are not adding or removing dependents, you can skip on straight on to step 3 just by clicking on the 3 there. This guy right here. So as you're enrolling, this is what it's going to look like. If you were to add or remove a dependent, this is sort of what that process looks like. I'm just going to kind of go through it quickly, just so that we can have time for questions. Step 2 also, here's where you would go to submit the documentation. Again, probably not going to be a big issue for most of us, but if you do have something, please let us know. Step 3, this will be important, making attestations. So you're going to be, first of all, prompted to take care of the tobacco use premium surcharge. This gets missed a lot, where you don't actually smoke, but you didn't do your attestation, and then you have a $25 surcharge and you're not sure what it's for, and then you can't make the change until next year. We don't want you to be paying for something that's not necessary. So when you're going through it, make sure that you select, if you do not use tobacco, that you do select no on there, and all no for the tobacco, or excuse me, sorry, I can never remember if it's all no or all yes. So yeah, for anybody who uses tobacco, I'll know if no one's used tobacco in the past 2 months. And then click continue. And the important part is that if you're going to be coming, sorry, I'll come to the important part here. If your spouse or state registered domestic partner is enrolled in your coverage, you'll also need to do the spousal attestation, where that's a lot more complex. And if you have questions about it, like I say, let us know. But you'll click continue from there. If not, you'll see this screen, which is attestation changes. You'll click OK on the attestation changes, and then you'll also click the confirm on the other screen. See, that's the part that's important, is hitting that confirm, because it should accept your changes, but just always better to be safe than sorry. So hit that confirm. So next, you're going to be on the screen for making plan elections. This is the options here do not represent the plans that are going to be this year. Also, we're not going back in time to 2020. It will be 2024, as far as I know, come January. This is an active enrollment process. No matter what plan you're on now, or if you're not on a plan and this is going to be your first time electing something, you will need to go in and make your elections, because otherwise you will be defaulted. Doesn't matter if you're in something in PEB now, you will be defaulted into a plan that may not be the plan that you want, and you will be given a tobacco surcharge. It's really important that you go in, make your elections, or if you're choosing to waive, you make the election to waive. That's my next takeaway that I would really want you to remember in this process. So you'll also be choosing your dental and vision plan. There's no premium cost. Ignore what it says there. Again, old screenshots. But the premium, that part of it is covered under the benefit portion of your that you can see on your paycheck. It's paid for by the district and by the state. So ignore that premium amount that it says there, because that won't even appear when you're viewing it. The important part with these ones, check with your provider. Make sure that they accept the plan that you're picking. Check on the dental plan website, because you'll see links there and then check with your provider, make sure that they accept it, and it's really important. If you have dependents, this is where you will make their elections as well, selecting yes or no if as appropriate, and then you'll click continue, and you'll click accept on confirm your selections, and again confirm. So at this point, you can elect supplemental coverage. Now, as I said, the only supplemental coverage that you'll be able to select during this process through the portal is going to be LTD, the additional voluntary supplemental LTD. That's provided at 60 or 50% of what your current earnings is, and it's based on a rate that's a percentage of your net pay, or excuse me, your gross pay rather. Sorry, pardon me. If you wish to enroll in Navia, either Flex Spending or Navia Dependent Care Assistance, or MetLife Supplemental AD&D, you'll need to fill out and submit the appropriate paper form, or the appropriate paper form. Those will be and are available on the We Are ESD 113 weareesd113.org website. I'll show you that in just a moment here. And if you have questions about those, ask me. Ask payroll, ask us. Sorry, don't want to sound like I have a big ego. So resources. Now, obviously, you can't click these, but I'm going to be sending out this entire presentation as a PDF that does have working links. There's SEBB My Account, how to use SEBB My Account, which is a probably better worded version of what I've just said, but looks a little bit lengthier. 2024 enrollment guide, is premiums, deductibles, etc. There's also the benefits tab on the business office section of We Are ESD. So if you're not familiar with We Are ESD, it's a great website. And if you come here, you can find out all sorts of stuff about the business office. Specifically, we've got a section here under benefits, and soon the video of this, hopefully heavily edited, will come up here. So we'll just call that good. So at this point, I would like to open it up to the questions that you may or may not have. Let me stop sharing if I can figure out how. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Stop sharing. All right. So I see there are some questions in the chat. So let me see. Well, actually, I'll open it up to questions in general. If anybody would like to raise your hand using the raise your hand option or Control-Shift-K. I'll also do that while I try. Oh, Steve Bigelow has a question. Okay, great. Steve, yes, please.
Yeah, I was just curious, do we set our HSA contribution in that website, or is there another place to do that?
Did everybody hear that? Okay, so HSA contributions are set through the Navia form. You're talking about the Navia, excuse me. Well, sorry, there's two different things that we could be talking about here. Sorry. Are we talking about the HSA that's provided through the state, through the high deductible plan, or the Navia Flex Spending account?
Yeah, I got to get back to my wife on that one.
Well, get back to your wife on that one, and then get back to us on. Yeah. Oh, sorry. What? Say that again.
I think it's the flexible spending. Yes.
The flex spending is done through the Navia form, and that's you can just grab that off of the website there, and then I'll also be sending it as part of this presentation. Follow up to this presentation.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you. Let me check here. Were there other questions? Okay, so let me check here. There were a couple of questions, it looks like, about your current PEB elections. If you have a specific question about what your PEB election is, go ahead and just send an email over to us in the payroll. We'll check on that for you. There is a section on your deductions, but it may not be immediately clear what that deduction code refers to. And so rather than try and make you like figure it out, it could be a little bit cryptic. We'll get you the right information there. Let's see. So let's see here. LTD. LTD does not roll over. Let's see here. You have a SAW account under work. Yes, you should create a new account using a personal email. There's nothing that says you have to do that. I'm not demanding you do it. I'm not going to even know what account you set it up under. It is recommended that you do it that way. As I said, for the reasons of your own ease for accessing that and for transfer if you go to a different district or a different state job, it makes things a lot easier. Can we have multiple accounts? I'm not sure what you mean by having multiple. Oh, I see, multiple SAW accounts. Kylie, you're so smart. There we are. We're attempting to log into SEBB My Account, and everyone. Okay, so you're not going to be able to log into SEBB My Account until December 1st. December 1st, you should be able to. If you're still not able to at that time, shoot us an email at the payroll@esd113.org. All of the information is supposed to transfer over and be accessible by the 1st. Lindy, I see answered that, but just in case you missed that. Do you still have my, we should have your documentation for your PEB enrollment. If there's a specific question, please let us know by emailing us. Copy of these instructions, yes, indeed, you will. And a version of this will be on the website. Redo AD&D supplemental life insurance. Yes, you're gonna need to redo that. It is a bit of a hassle. I apologize. Well, I don't apologize. It's not my fault, but I come from a family that apologizes too much. So, I think. How do we see your current stuff? Yeah, like I said. So are the rates going to be different? Well, yes, the rates vary depending on which plan you choose. I'll send a copy of the comparison. Again, it's not a one-to-one comparison, but the healthcare, and I apologize, I may not have said health. When I say HCA, I mean Healthcare Authority. It's the jargonism, and I apologize. But the HCA put together a little pamphlet that has a comparison of if you're on this Kaiser plan, this is the most closely equivalent, and it gives the rates and everything. But more broadly, rates are going up for insurance across the board, PEB and SEBB, but the comparable plans on SEBB largely are slightly less expensive than what the PEB price is going to. So for the most part, it's going to be not, like I say, there's not a one-to-one comparison, but you should find something that's close. Let's see. And like I said, I'll resend that as well. That is a very good point, Lindy. We have a limited number of paper booklets. If you want to come by the payroll office and pick one up, or if you are a supervisor and want to pick some up for your people, please come by and get those. That we're happy to get them out of. And I'm sure Kylie in particular will be happy to have some of her cubicle back. Yeah. Let me see. Are there any other questions? Well, awesome. You folks are great.